Did the wedding cost $200,000 and who paid for it?
So Bravo is so hell-bent on these numbers. My gosh. I was thwarting answering all of these questions about numbers because our original budget for the wedding was $100,000. That was what we went in knowing that we wanted to spend. In the South, traditionally speaking, it is the bride's family that pays for the wedding, and the groom's family pays for the rehearsal dinner. So we did follow, for the most part, that tradition. Now, with that said, myself and Chris did contribute significantly to the cost of the wedding, especially after the budget went up. But my mother, my stepfather, and my father, who are all professionals in the medical field and are well within their means to give their daughter the wedding that she wants, did so. To answer your other question, the wedding it was roughly that number that you mentioned, yes. Well, maybe a little bit over that number when it was all said and done. And when you include, my family having to fly, my mother did help cover a lot of my family that flew up from the South to stay in the host hotel, and transportation and all those little tiny things that add up. So yeah, it was probably a little bit over $200K.
Giselle Bryant has said that your mother pays for everything in your life, and because of that, she has control over you. Is this a true statement? Do you feel like Giselle is too opinionated about you and your brother's relationship?
I do know that Giselle is very, she likes to be dramatic, and she likes to insert her personal opinion on things in her very dramatically flared way. But to answer the question, no, my mother does not pay for everything. She has been a great support in my life. I have no college loans, student loans, because my mother and my father were able to pay for my degree. If and when I decide to continue my education to get a master's, there is money set aside for me to continue my education. Everyone knows that my mother and I purchased a home together, meaning that I also contributed to the purchase of this home. Myself and my husband pay for the mortgage on this home. I pay for all of the utility bills in this home. When there is a leak or there is a crack in the walls, there's settling, when the carpet needs to be cleaned, myself and my husband covered those things. My mother simply did what any smart, financially savvy, wealthy parent would do for their child. She set me up to be successful in my life.
So how did your mother get on The Real Housewives of Potomac? Was that something that you suggested, or was it the producers?
It was me, because my mom and I have a very close but interesting relationship. I don't think that I expected for her to take off and become this sort of mainstay and this popular Mama Dorothy that she has become. I didn't think it would be that serious.
So, which housewife is the biggest diva?
I would probably say that Karen Huger is the biggest diva on Potomac. Karen is a character. She's a piece of work, and she will tell you where to go and how to get there in only a way that Karen can. And she does not take any mess off of anybody, and that is cast members, the crew, and I think she would probably be the biggest diva. And when she doesn't want to do something, she's going to let you know, I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not doing that today. I'm not giving you that today. No, thank you. And she's very firm in the way that she delivers her requests and her requirements.
So who would be the most difficult housewife to be around?
Someone who's probably a challenge to not, get into some drama when we're in the same room, and you'll see this all of season 4, is Ashley. Ashley and I had a bit of a time together, sort of matriculating through the season, and there were some moments where I felt there was a lack of authenticity in her story and in her delivery of what was happening in her life, and especially because Ashley has purported herself across the board to be the person that calls everybody else out on their stuff. When it was her turn to be in the hot seat, I just assumed that because she was so open with everybody else's business that, okay, now it's your turn. You're going to be open with your own business. And you'll kind of see how that plays out throughout the season.
Which housewife changes the most when the cameras start rolling?
Now, I will say that there might be one person who flip-flops a little bit this season, and I wouldn't say that was changing on camera, but maybe it was, because there were conversations that were had behind the scenes with this person, and then when we were on camera, some of that stuff kind of like went to the wayside for a different narrative, and you will just have to wait and see how that plays out. But you will see it. You will plainly see that there is one person who changes up the way that their opinion off camera versus on camera.
Okay, now you can't tell us who that is?
I cannot. You just have to kind of watch and see. It will be plain and clear when you see it.
Which housewife do you think is the least trustworthy?
Probably what you will see this season, I would probably say Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah. She, it's not so much trustworthy as do I believe you? Do I believe anything that you say? Just based on the way that you carry yourself, especially, when you're going through adversity with the group and within your own family. How honest have you been about what you're dealing with? And I found it very difficult to take what she was saying seriously and to believe what was coming out of her mouth a lot of the time.
What celebrity have you enjoyed meeting the least?
Oh, there was someone. I just can't think of who they are in this moment. Andy Cohen threw a huge baby shower, and it was like the first time in Housewives history, that every, or many, not all, but many housewives were in the same room from the different franchises. And there was one who I was just surprised by how just stoic they were. Not unfriendly, but just a little stoic. Who was it? Oh, Dorit from Beverly Hills Housewives. She wasn't mean, but she was just very uninterested in, interacting or talking with everyone that I kind of saw, myself included. Dorit just seemed like she just wasn't, like she didn't want to be there. And when I introduced myself, she kind of looked at me like, who are you? I was like, oh, well, nice to meet you, and I will press my way, to the champagne, and we'll move on from there. Hi, guys. This is Candiace Dillard from The Real Housewives of Potomac, and you're listening to The Dominic Natty Show.